Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what true happiness really means? Why do some people seem to find joy effortlessly while others struggle? What if the key to a happy life lies not in the big achievements, but in the small, everyday moments? Imagine waking up each day feeling a deep sense of contentment, no matter the challenges you face. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to overlook the simple joys of life. We often chase after external sources of happiness, like a new job, a fancy car, or the perfect relationship, only to find that these things bring fleeting joy. But what if we could tap into a deeper, more lasting happiness? Consider this. A monk sits quietly, observing the world without judgment. He finds joy in the sound of raindrops, the warmth of the sun, and the smiles of strangers. This simple practice of mindfulness teaches us that happiness is not something to chase. It's something to experience in each moment. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore profound insights inspired by Buddhism in everyday life. If you find value in our content, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So let's change that together. Your support helps us create more meaningful content for you. In this series, we will dive deeper into the teachings of Buddhism and discover how they can guide us to a happier, more fulfilling life. Let's embark on this journey together and unlock the secrets to living a life rich with joy and purpose. Understanding happiness through the lens of Buddhism. Happiness can feel like a distant dream for many. We chase it through wealth, success, and even relationships, thinking these will bring us joy. But Buddhism teaches us that true happiness comes from within. It's about understanding our minds and finding peace in our hearts. At the core of Buddhist teachings is the idea that happiness is not something we can buy or achieve. Instead, it's a state of being that we can cultivate. Imagine waking up each day, feeling content, regardless of what life throws your way. This inner peace is what Buddhism offers us. One key concept in Buddhism is impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. Our feelings, our possessions, even our relationships. When we grasp this idea, we can start to let go of our attachments. We often cling to things, thinking they will make us happy. But when they change or disappear, we suffer. Understanding impermanence helps us appreciate the moments we have, without holding on too tightly. Another important teaching is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply being aware of the present moment. It means noticing our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to see the beauty in everyday life. A simple meal becomes a moment to savor. A walk in nature becomes a chance to connect with the world around us. Buddhism also encourages us to look at our desires. Many of us think that if we just had that new job, the perfect partner, or the latest gadget, we would be happy. But desires can be endless, like a never-ending cycle. Instead, Buddhism teaches us to find joy in what we already have. This doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for goals, but rather that we should find contentment in our current situation. Let's take a moment to think about gratitude. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we shift our perspective. Instead of feeling empty because we don't have everything we want, we can celebrate the blessings in our lives. This practice can be life-changing. Try writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. You'll start to notice how much beauty surrounds you. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of compassion. Being kind to others can bring immense joy. When we help someone in need, we not only uplift them but also ourselves. Acts of kindness create a ripple effect. A small gesture can lead to a chain of happiness, spreading joy in ways we may not even see. In Buddhism, happiness is not just about feeling good. It's about living with purpose. Each action we take can contribute to our happiness or the happiness of others. Ask yourself, how can I make a positive impact today? It could be as simple as offering a smile or lending a helping hand. The practice of meditation is another powerful tool. Through meditation, we can quiet our minds and connect with our inner selves. This connection can reveal what truly matters to us, helping us align our lives with our values. When we meditate regularly, we become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with calmness and clarity. Moreover, Buddhism teaches us to embrace challenges. Life will always have ups and downs. Instead of fearing difficulties, we can view them as opportunities for growth. Each challenge can teach us valuable lessons. When we change our perspective, we can find strength and resilience within ourselves. Let's not forget the importance of community. Surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals can nurture our happiness. When we share our experiences, joys, and struggles with others, we realize we're not alone. A supportive community can lift us during tough times and celebrate our successes with us. In summary, happiness from a Buddhist perspective is not about seeking external sources. It's about understanding ourselves, embracing impermanence, practicing mindfulness, cultivating gratitude, showing compassion, and connecting with our inner purpose. As we journey through life, we can learn to find joy in the simple moments and create a fulfilling existence. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we can shift our understanding of happiness. Instead of chasing after it, we can cultivate it within ourselves. The path to happiness may not always be easy, but it is a journey worth taking. Each step brings us closer to a deeper understanding of who we are and what brings us true joy. The illusion of external happiness. Happiness is often seen as something outside of us. We believe that if we just have more money, a nicer car, or a perfect partner, we will be happy. But is that really true? In Buddhism, we learn that this kind of happiness is an illusion. Let's explore why relying on external things for our happiness can lead to disappointment. First, think about a time when you got something you really wanted. Maybe it was a new gadget or a special vacation. At first, it felt amazing, but after a while, the excitement faded. You might have started to feel empty again, searching for the next big thing to fill that gap. This cycle of desire is what keeps us chasing after happiness outside ourselves. Buddhism teaches us about the nature of desire. It says that craving is like a fire. When we feed it with more desires, it grows bigger and bigger. We think, if I just get this next thing, then I will be happy. But instead of finding lasting joy, we end up feeling more and more dissatisfied. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on what real happiness means. It's not found in possessions or achievements. Real happiness comes from within. It's about how we view the world and ourselves. When we learn to appreciate the simple things, like a warm cup of tea, the sound of laughter, or the beauty of nature, we start to feel a deeper sense of joy. In Buddhism, this inner happiness is often called contentment. Contentment is not about being passive or settling for less. It's about recognizing that we already have enough. It teaches us to be grateful for what we have rather than constantly wanting more. This shift in perspective can transform our lives. Consider the practice of gratitude. Each day, take a moment to think of 3 things you are thankful for. They can be small, like a good meal or a kind word from a friend. When we focus on gratitude, we shift our attention away from what we lack and toward the abundance that already exists in our lives. This simple practice can open our hearts to joy. Buddhism also encourages us to be present. When we are fully engaged in the moment, we begin to see the beauty in everyday experiences. Instead of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, we can find happiness right here and now. This presence helps us to savor life's little pleasures. Let's not forget the importance of connection. True happiness often comes from our relationships with others. When we build strong, loving connections, we find a sense of belonging and support. It's in these moments of connection that we can experience true joy. In contrast, when we focus solely on material things, we may isolate ourselves. We might spend hours chasing after success, neglecting the people who matter most. This can lead to loneliness, even if we have everything we thought we wanted. It's crucial to nurture our relationships and prioritize the people in our lives. Another important lesson from Buddhism is the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is temporary, including our feelings of happiness. When we attach our happiness to external things, we forget that they can change or disappear. By accepting impermanence, we learn to appreciate each moment as it comes. Embracing impermanence can be freeing. Instead of clinging to experiences, we can enjoy them while they last. This acceptance helps us to live more fully and fearlessly. We begin to find joy in the journey, not just in the destination. Let's also consider the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment. When we practice mindfulness, we become aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This awareness allows us to recognize when we are seeking happiness outside ourselves. By bringing our focus back to the present, we can find contentment in the here and now. We start to notice the beauty in small things, a gentle breeze, the warmth of the sun, or the sound of birds singing. These moments can fill us with joy if we take the time to notice them. As we move forward, it's essential to remember that true happiness is a choice. It's about how we respond to life's challenges and opportunities. Instead of seeking validation from the outside, we can cultivate self-acceptance and love. When we learn to love ourselves, we open the door to genuine happiness. In summary, the illusion of external happiness can lead us on a never-ending chase. Buddhism teaches us that real happiness is found within. By focusing on gratitude, being present, nurturing relationships, embracing impermanence, and practicing mindfulness, we can discover a deeper, lasting joy. Let's embrace these teachings and begin to shift our focus from the external to the internal. Happiness is not something to be chased. It's a state of being we can cultivate right now, cultivating inner peace and contentment. In the busy world we live in, finding inner peace might seem impossible. But what if I told you that peace is already within you, waiting to be discovered? It starts with understanding what inner peace really means. Inner peace is that quiet feeling inside, a calm that exists regardless of what is happening around you. Imagine a still pond. When the water is calm, you can see everything clearly. But when the wind blows, the surface gets disturbed, and it's hard to see anything beneath. Our minds work the same way. When we let stress and worries take over, it becomes difficult to feel happy or see things clearly. The practice of cultivating inner peace helps us calm those waters. One way to cultivate this peace is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply being aware of the present moment without judgment. It means noticing your thoughts and feelings, but not getting caught up in them. For example, when you feel anxious, instead of pushing that feeling away, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "I feel anxious right now." This simple acknowledgement helps to reduce its power over you. Breathing exercises can also help. When you focus on your breath, you bring your attention back to the present. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. Do this a few times, and notice how it feels. This practice can create a space of calm in your mind, allowing you to connect with your inner self. Another important aspect of inner peace is letting go. We often hold on to past hurts, regrets, or worries about the future. This clinging creates stress and prevents us from feeling content. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting what has happened and choosing to move forward. Imagine holding a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a worry or a past hurt. When you let go of that backpack, you feel lighter and freer. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, your perspective shifts. Try keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be as simple as a warm cup of tea or a smile from a friend. This practice helps you see the beauty in everyday life. Nature can teach us a lot about inner peace. Spend time outdoors, whether it's a walk in the park or simply sitting under a tree. Nature has a calming effect and reminds us of the simple joys in life. Listen to the birds, feel the breeze, and take in the beauty around you. Nature helps us connect with the present moment. Another way to cultivate inner peace is through meditation. Meditation is not about stopping your thoughts, but observing them without judgment. You can start with just a few minutes a day. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Focus on your breath and let your thoughts come and go. With practice, you'll find it easier to remain calm, even in stressful situations. Cultivating compassion is essential for inner peace, too. When we are kind to ourselves and others, we create a sense of connection and understanding. Practice self-compassion by speaking kindly to yourself, especially during tough times. Remember that everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. In your daily life, look for small ways to show kindness. Hold the door open for someone, offer a compliment, or help a neighbor. These acts of kindness not only brighten someone else's day, but also bring a sense of joy to your own life. It's also important to create a peaceful environment around you. Declutter your space and surround yourself with things that bring you joy. Create a corner in your home where you can relax, meditate, or read. A peaceful space helps foster a peaceful mind. As you cultivate inner peace, you'll start to notice changes in your life. You may feel more patient, understanding, and open to experiences. Challenges may still arise, but your response to them can shift. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you might find yourself responding with calmness and clarity. Remember, cultivating inner peace is a journey, not a destination. It takes time and practice. Be patient with yourself as you learn to embrace this new way of being. Each step you take towards inner peace is a step towards a happier, more contented life. So, take a deep breath, embrace the present moment, and know that peace is within your reach. With time, you will discover that the calm you seek is not outside of you, but right inside your heart. As you move forward, carry this sense of peace with you, and let it guide you through the ups and downs of life. Embracing silence, a path to mindfulness. In our busy lives, silence often feels like a luxury. We fill our days with noise, music, conversations, the hum of technology. But what if silence could be a source of power? What if in that quiet space, we could truly connect with ourselves? Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is a powerful tool for mindfulness. When we embrace silence, we allow our minds to settle. Imagine sitting in a peaceful room, where the only sound is your breath. In this space, you can hear your thoughts more clearly. You can feel your emotions without distraction. This is where true understanding begins. Buddhism teaches us the importance of mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, aware of what is happening around us and within us. When we embrace silence, we create the perfect environment for mindfulness. It helps us to slow down, to notice the little things we often overlook. Think about a simple moment, sipping a cup of tea. In a noisy environment, you might rush through it, distracted by your phone or conversation. But in silence, each sip becomes an experience. You can taste the warmth, smell the aroma, and feel the texture of the cup in your hands. This is the power of being present. Many Buddhist monks practice silence as a way to deepen their connection to themselves and the world. They spend time in solitude, reflecting on their thoughts and feelings. This practice helps them understand their desires and fears. By embracing silence, they learn to let go of distractions and focus on what truly matters. Silence also helps us listen, truly listen, to others. When we are quiet, we can hear the unspoken words, the emotions behind the surface. This deepens our connections with friends and family. It allows us to respond with compassion and understanding, rather than just reacting. In our daily lives, we can create moments of silence. It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before starting your day, or finding a quiet spot in nature to reflect. Even a few minutes of silence during lunch can help reset your mind. As you incorporate silence into your routine, notice how it feels. Do your thoughts become clearer? Do you feel more relaxed? This practice can lead to a greater sense of peace. You may find that you handle stress better and appreciate the beauty of life more fully. Embracing silence is a journey. Start with small steps. Perhaps set aside 5 minutes each day to sit quietly. Over time, you can gradually increase this time. You might discover a deep well of calmness within yourself. This inner peace can be a guiding light in times of chaos. Silence also opens the door to creativity. When the mind is quiet, ideas flow more freely. Many artists, writers, and thinkers find their best inspiration in moments of solitude. By stepping away from noise, you give your mind the space to explore new thoughts. In conclusion, embracing silence is not about rejecting the world around us. It is about finding balance. While the world is full of noise, we can create our own moments of peace. This practice leads to mindfulness, deeper connections, and a richer experience of life. So, take a moment today. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and breathe. Let the silence envelop you. In that stillness, you may find the answers you've been searching for. Letting go of attachments for true joy. In our lives, we often cling to things, people, and ideas. This attachment can bring us happiness, but it can also cause pain. Imagine holding on to a balloon. At first, it floats high, bringing you joy. But if you grip it too tightly, it might pop, leaving you with nothing but a broken heart. Letting go of attachments can be challenging, but it is essential for finding true joy. Buddhism teaches that attachments lead to suffering. When we are attached to something, we fear losing it. This fear can make us anxious and unhappy. For example, think about a favorite toy from childhood. If you still hold on to it, you might feel sad when you see it wear out. But if you can appreciate the memories it brings and let it go, you free yourself from that sadness. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you allow yourself to enjoy the present without being tied down by the past. A simple way to practice this is through mindfulness. When you feel attached to something, take a moment to breathe and observe your feelings. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Can I appreciate this without clinging to it? Consider the story of a young monk. He was very attached to his old robes, believing they defined his worth. One day, a wise teacher told him, "These robes are just fabric. Your true self is beyond them." The young monk pondered this and decided to let go of his attachment. He realized that his value came from his actions and kindness, not from what he wore. This idea can be applied to relationships too. We often become attached to people, believing our happiness depends on them. While connections are important, true happiness comes from within. When we let go of the need for others to complete us, we open ourselves to deeper, more fulfilling relationships. It allows love to grow without the fear of loss. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of impermanence. Everything around us changes. When we accept this, we can appreciate life's beauty without holding on too tightly. Think about a sunset. It's breathtaking, yet it lasts only a moment. If we try to hold on to it, we miss the experience. Instead, we should cherish it as it is, knowing it will come again. Another practice to help let go is gratitude. When we focus on what we have instead of what we want, we create space for joy. Start a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you appreciate each day. This practice shifts your focus from lack to abundance, helping you release attachments that don't serve you. Letting go can also mean releasing negative thoughts and emotions. Often, we hold on to grudges or past hurts, thinking they define us. But these feelings weigh us down. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. It frees us from the burden of anger and resentment. When we forgive, we take back our power and open our hearts to joy. It's important to remember that letting go is a process. You might feel hesitant or scared at first. That's okay. Take small steps. You don't have to let go of everything at once. Start with one small thing, a trinket, a habit, or a negative thought. As you practice, you'll find it becomes easier to release what no longer serves you. In your daily life, try to notice moments when you feel attached. Maybe it's to your phone or a particular routine. Ask yourself, is this making me happy, or am I holding on out of habit? By bringing awareness to these moments, you can start to make conscious choices about what to keep and what to let go. Lastly, surround yourself with supportive people. Those who encourage growth and self-discovery can help you on your journey to letting go. Share your feelings with trusted friends. They can provide perspective and remind you that you are not alone in this process. Letting go of attachments is a path to true joy. It frees us from fear, anxiety, and suffering. By embracing impermanence and practicing gratitude, we create space for happiness in our lives. Remember, it's not about losing what you love. It's about finding joy in the present moment, unencumbered by the past. As you let go, you will discover a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment that lasts longer than any attachment ever could. Embracing change, a path to fulfillment. Change is a constant part of life. It happens every day, whether we like it or not. But how often do we resist change? We might feel comfortable in our routines, but holding on too tightly can keep us from experiencing true happiness. Embracing change is essential for growth and fulfillment. Imagine a river. It flows continuously, never staying the same. If it were to stop, it would become stagnant and lifeless. Similarly, when we resist change, we become stuck. Instead, we should learn to flow with life, just like the river. Buddhism teaches us that everything is impermanent. This means that nothing lasts forever. Our emotions, our situations, and even our lives will change. When we understand this, we can start to let go of our fears. Instead of seeing change as a threat, we can view it as an opportunity. For example, think about the seasons. In spring, flowers bloom and new life emerges. In summer, the days are long and bright. Then, autumn brings change as leaves fall and the air cools. Finally, winter arrives, bringing rest and reflection. Each season has its beauty, just as each change in our lives can bring new experiences and lessons. When we embrace change, we open ourselves to new possibilities. We can meet new people, learn new skills, and discover new passions. These experiences can enrich our lives in ways we never imagined. By stepping out of our comfort zones, we allow ourselves to grow. Fear often holds us back. We may worry about the unknown, or we might feel anxious about what comes next. But remember, every great adventure starts with a leap into the unknown. It's okay to feel afraid. What matters is how we respond to that fear. Instead of letting it control us, we can choose to move forward, one small step at a time. Buddhism teaches us to practice mindfulness, which can help us navigate change with grace. When we stay present in the moment, we can observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This awareness allows us to accept change instead of resisting it. Try this simple exercise. When you feel anxious about a change, take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Notice how your body feels. Are you tense? Relax your shoulders. Are your hands clenched? Let them go. As you breathe, remind yourself that change is a part of life and that you are capable of handling it. Another way to embrace change is to reflect on past experiences. Think about a time when change led to something positive in your life. Maybe you started a new job or moved to a new city. At first, it might have felt scary, but eventually, you found joy in those new experiences. Remembering these moments can help you face future changes with more confidence. It's also important to surround ourselves with supportive people. Share your feelings about change with friends or family. They can offer encouragement and remind you that you are not alone. A strong support system can make navigating change feel much easier. Embracing change also means being willing to let go. Sometimes, we hold on to things that no longer serve us. Old habits, toxic relationships, or even outdated beliefs. Letting go can be tough, but it creates space for new and better things to enter our lives. Think about decluttering your home. When you remove items that no longer bring you joy, you create a more peaceful space. The same principle applies to our lives. By releasing what doesn't serve us, we can make room for growth and happiness. In Buddhism, we often talk about the concept of non-attachment. This means not clinging to things, whether they are physical possessions or emotional states. By practicing non-attachment, we can face change with a lighter heart. We learn to appreciate the moment without fearing its end. As we embrace change, we also develop resilience. Life will always throw challenges our way, but when we learn to adapt, we become stronger. Each time we face change, we build our capacity to handle whatever comes next. So, how can you start embracing change in your life? Begin by setting small goals. Identify one change you want to make, whether it's trying a new hobby or meeting new people. Take one step today. Remember, it's not about making huge leaps. It's about progress, no matter how small. As you navigate change, keep a journal. Write down your thoughts and feelings as you experience new things. Reflecting on your journey can provide insight and help you appreciate how far you've come. Finally, celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Acknowledge your courage in facing change. Each step forward is a victory worth celebrating. In conclusion, embracing change is a path to fulfillment. By letting go of fear and opening ourselves to new experiences, we can find joy and growth in every season of life. Remember, just like the river, we must keep flowing, adapting, and growing. Embrace change, and you will discover the beauty of a fulfilling life. The importance of compassion and kindness. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget how powerful compassion and kindness can be. These simple acts can change not just our lives, but the world around us. Imagine walking down the street and smiling at someone. That small gesture can brighten their day. It's amazing how a little kindness can create a ripple effect, spreading happiness far and wide. Buddhism teaches us that compassion is at the heart of a fulfilling life. It's not just about feeling sorry for someone. It's about understanding their suffering and wanting to help. When we open our hearts to others, we connect deeply with them. This connection brings warmth and joy, not only to them, but also to ourselves. Let's think about how we can practice compassion daily. Start with small steps. Maybe you can help a neighbor carry groceries or listen to a friend who's having a tough time. These little actions can have a big impact. When we act with kindness, we remind others that they are not alone in their struggles. There's a story of a monk who encountered a traveler on a difficult journey. The traveler was tired and lost. Instead of ignoring him, the monk stopped to offer water and food. This simple act of kindness not only helped the traveler, but also filled the monk's heart with joy. He realized that helping others is one of the greatest ways to find happiness. Compassion also extends to ourselves. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We make mistakes and feel guilty. But just like we would comfort a friend, we need to be gentle with ourselves. By practicing self-compassion, we learn to forgive ourselves and grow from our experiences. When we cultivate compassion, we also learn to let go of anger and resentment. Holding on to these negative feelings weighs us down. Buddhism teaches that these emotions create suffering. By replacing them with kindness, we free ourselves from this burden. It's like lifting a heavy stone off our hearts. Let's explore how kindness can transform our daily interactions. In our busy routines, we often rush past others, lost in our thoughts. What if we took a moment to pause? A simple thank you to a cashier or a friendly greeting to a colleague can brighten someone's day. These small acts create a sense of community and belonging. Think about the last time someone showed you kindness. How did it make you feel? That warm feeling can inspire us to pay it forward. When we share kindness, we create a chain reaction. One kind act can inspire another, and soon, a whole community can be uplifted. Compassion is not just for people we know. It extends to all living beings. This includes animals and nature. When we recognize that every creature has its own struggles, we begin to see the world differently. For instance, feeding a stray cat or picking up litter in a park can be acts of compassion that show we care for our environment and the creatures in it. Buddhism encourages us to practice loving kindness meditation. This is a simple but powerful way to cultivate compassion. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and think of someone you love. Imagine sending them warmth and love. Then, expand this feeling to others, friends, strangers, and even those with whom you have conflicts. This practice helps open our hearts and promotes a sense of connection. As we practice compassion, we also learn to understand the interconnectedness of all life. Our happiness is tied to the happiness of others. When we help someone else, we also help ourselves. This realization can be a powerful motivator to act kindly. In conclusion, compassion and kindness are essential for a happy life. They transform our relationships and our understanding of the world. By being kind to ourselves and others, we create a more positive environment, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Let's commit to making compassion a daily practice. The world can be a brighter place, one act of kindness at a time. Remember, every small gesture counts. So, let's embrace compassion and spread joy together, creating meaningful connections with others. In our journey to happiness, one of the most important aspects is our connections with others. Imagine life as a tapestry, where every thread represents a relationship. The stronger and more vibrant these threads are, the more beautiful our tapestry becomes. Meaningful connections add color and depth to our lives. But what does it mean to have a meaningful connection? It's more than just being around people. It's about sharing moments, understanding each other, and supporting one another. Think about your closest friends or family. These are the people who lift you up when you're down and celebrate with you in good times. This support system is vital for our well-being. In Buddhism, there's a teaching called metta, which means loving kindness. This practice encourages us to wish happiness and peace for ourselves and others. When we cultivate loving kindness, we create a safe space for others to connect with us. This openness can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships. How do we practice loving kindness? Start by being present. When you're with someone, truly listen to them. Put away your phone and distractions. Give them your full attention. This simple act can make a world of difference. People appreciate being heard and understood. It strengthens the bond between you. Another way to build connections is through sharing experiences. Whether it's going for a walk, cooking together, or simply having a deep conversation, these moments create lasting memories. It's not about how grand the activity is, but the intention behind it. The more you share, the closer you become. In Buddhism, community is essential. Sangha, or community, provides support and encourages us to grow. Being part of a community helps us feel less isolated. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and joys. Find a group that shares your interests or values, whether it's a meditation group, a book club, or a sports team. These connections can bring a sense of belonging. Additionally, practice gratitude for the people in your life. Take a moment each day to reflect on those who have supported you. Send a message or make a call to express your appreciation. This small act can strengthen your bond and encourage others to share their gratitude too. It creates a positive cycle of kindness. Moreover, don't be afraid to reach out to new people. Building connections doesn't always happen in familiar places. Attend local events, workshops, or classes. Engage in conversations with strangers. You never know where a simple hello might lead. Sometimes, new friendships can blossom in the most unexpected situations. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship. However, how we handle these conflicts can either strengthen or weaken our connections. Approach disagreements with an open mind and a compassionate heart. Try to understand the other person's perspective. This willingness to listen can resolve misunderstandings and deepen your bond. Forgiveness is another crucial element in building meaningful connections. Holding on to grudges can weigh us down and create barriers. In Buddhism, letting go of anger and resentment is essential for inner peace. By forgiving others and ourselves, we free up space for love and connection. As you build these relationships, remember to take care of yourself too. Healthy boundaries are necessary for maintaining strong connections. It's okay to say no when you need time for yourself. Balance is key in nurturing relationships while also honoring your own needs. Finally, let's not forget the power of shared values. When we connect with people who share our beliefs or goals, it strengthens our bonds. Seek out others who inspire you and share your vision for life. These connections can motivate you to grow and evolve together. In summary, creating meaningful connections is a beautiful journey. By practicing loving kindness, being present, sharing experiences, and embracing community, we enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. Each connection adds a new thread to our tapestry, making it more vibrant and beautiful. So, let's nurture these relationships and watch our happiness grow. The power of gratitude in transforming life. Gratitude is a simple yet profound practice. Many people go through life wanting more money, more success, more recognition. We often think happiness lies in what we don't have, in the things we're striving to achieve. But what if I told you that the key to happiness and transformation is not found in getting more, but in appreciating what you already have? In Buddhism, gratitude is not just a polite thank you. It's a deep awareness of the blessings that are already present in your life. Let's explore how practicing gratitude can change your life in ways you never imagined. First, let's take a moment to think about this. How often do you pause to appreciate what you have? Your home, your family, the air you breathe, even the challenges that help you grow? Most of us focus on what's lacking. We compare ourselves to others, wanting what they have, while overlooking the abundance in our own lives. Gratitude shifts your focus. When you start to recognize what you have, instead of what you don't, your entire perspective changes. Suddenly, life feels richer, fuller. The simple act of being thankful can turn a bad day into a good one, can transform a hardship into a lesson, and can shift your mindset from lack to abundance. This shift is at the heart of Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, gratitude is a core part of mindfulness. To be truly mindful is to be aware of each moment, and in that awareness, to be grateful. When you sit in meditation, you might begin by focusing on your breath, feeling grateful for the ability to breathe. Breathing is something we do all day, every day, yet how often do we stop to appreciate it? By simply being thankful for your breath, you ground yourself in the present moment, and this moment becomes sacred. Gratitude also softens the heart. Think about the times when you have felt anger, frustration, or sadness. It's easy to get caught up in those emotions, to let them spiral out of control. But gratitude acts as an antidote. When you focus on what you're thankful for, those negative feelings start to dissolve. It's hard to be angry when you're also feeling grateful. This is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect, but about balancing our emotions with appreciation. In the teachings of Buddhism, it is said that suffering arises from attachment, our desire for things to be different from what they are. But gratitude helps us let go of that attachment. When you're thankful for what is, as it is, you stop fighting reality. You accept it, and in that acceptance, there is peace. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. You don't need everything to go your way in order to be happy. Gratitude teaches us to see the beauty and imperfection in the lessons in hardship. Now, let's take a practical example. Imagine a day where everything seems to go wrong. Maybe you're late for work, your car breaks down, or you have a disagreement with a loved one. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the negativity. But even on days like this, there are things to be grateful for. Perhaps you had a warm bed to sleep in the night before, or a kind word from a stranger. Maybe the delay allowed you to avoid a traffic accident, or the disagreement with your loved one opened the door for better communication. When you start looking for things to appreciate, you'll find them, even in the hardest of times. Buddhist monks often express gratitude as part of their daily practice. They give thanks for the food they eat, the robes they wear, and even the people who criticize them. This may seem strange at first. Why be thankful for criticism? But from a Buddhist perspective, criticism offers a chance to grow. It challenges us to reflect on ourselves, to learn, and to develop humility. This kind of deep gratitude goes beyond the surface. It transforms the way we experience the world. Gratitude is also closely tied to compassion. When you're thankful for the kindness of others, you naturally want to give back. You become more compassionate, more giving. Gratitude opens the heart and connects us to others. It helps us see the interdependence of all beings. We are all connected, and what we give, we receive. By practicing gratitude, you cultivate a sense of connection with the world around you. Let's try something simple. At the end of each day, think of 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be something as simple as a cup of tea, a conversation with a friend, or a sunset. Write them down or just reflect on them in your mind. This small act can make a big difference. Over time, you'll notice that your mindset shifts. You'll start looking for things to be grateful for throughout the day, and life will start to feel more positive. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's important to acknowledge both. But when you practice gratitude, you start to see the silver lining in every cloud. You begin to understand that even difficult situations have value. They teach you patience, resilience, and wisdom. Gratitude allows you to embrace life as it is, without wishing it to be different. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as mudita, or sympathetic joy. This is the practice of being happy for the happiness of others. When you see someone else succeed, rather than feeling envious, you feel joy for them. This is another form of gratitude, being grateful for the good fortune of others. Practicing mudita helps you let go of comparison and competition. It fosters a sense of unity and shared happiness. By being grateful for others' success, you expand your capacity for joy. It's easy to overlook the small blessings in life, but when you train your mind to notice them, they become a source of constant joy. The sound of birds in the morning, the laughter of a child, the feeling of the wind on your face. These are all moments to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't require anything external. It's a shift in mindset. And once you cultivate this mindset, you'll find that happiness is already within you, waiting to be recognized. Remember, gratitude is a practice. It's something you cultivate over time. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, the more it transforms your life. Gratitude is like a seed. Plant it, nurture it, and watch it grow. It will blossom into a deep sense of contentment and joy that no external circumstances can take away. In conclusion, gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for transforming your life. It's not about having more. It's about appreciating what you already have. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about finding the blessings within them. Through gratitude, you can shift your focus from lack to abundance, from suffering to peace. And in that shift, you'll discover the true power of gratitude to change your life. Lessons from Buddhist teachings on happiness. Welcome. Today, we are going to explore how Buddhist teachings can help us find happiness. In Buddhism, happiness is not just a fleeting feeling but a deep sense of contentment and peace that stays with us, even when life is hard. As we walk through this part, you will discover practical lessons that you can apply in your daily life to experience a more meaningful, joyful existence. Let's begin by asking a simple question. What is happiness? For many, happiness seems to be something you can get from the outside world, whether it's through success, material wealth, or even relationships. But in Buddhism, happiness starts from within. It is not something we need to chase, but something we need to cultivate inside ourselves. Understanding suffering. One of the first lessons that Buddhism teaches is about suffering. At first, this might sound like the opposite of happiness, but understanding suffering is key to finding true joy. The Buddha taught that life includes suffering. This doesn't mean life is bad or that happiness isn't possible. It just means that difficulties are a part of life. No one can escape pain, illness, or loss. But by accepting that suffering is a natural part of the human experience, we can begin to release ourselves from the grip of disappointment and frustration. So, the first lesson we must learn is that it's okay to face challenges and struggles. When we stop fighting against life's ups and downs, we open ourselves to a calmer, more peaceful way of living. We learn to appreciate the happy moments without clinging to them and to endure the tough times without letting them overwhelm us. The power of letting go. In Buddhist teachings, attachment is seen as one of the main causes of suffering. Attachment happens when we hold on to things too tightly. Whether it's people, material possessions, or ideas, we become attached because we believe these things will make us happy, but this kind of happiness is temporary. For example, think about how happy you feel when you get a new phone. For a few days, you might be excited, but eventually, the excitement fades, and you start looking for the next new thing. The lesson here is to practice letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on everything or not caring. Instead, it means not becoming so attached to things that we lose our peace when they are gone. When we let go of our attachment, we create space for real, lasting happiness. It allows us to enjoy life as it is, without always needing more. One practical way to practice letting go is through mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, without judgment or expectation. When we are mindful, we can appreciate things as they are, without becoming too attached to the outcome. For example, when you drink a cup of tea, be fully present with the taste, the warmth, and the experience without thinking about what comes next. Compassion as a path to happiness. Another powerful lesson in Buddhism is about compassion. Compassion means understanding the suffering of others and wishing to help. This may seem like an outward-focused action, but it actually brings immense happiness to the one practicing it. When we are compassionate, we step outside of our own desires and troubles, and this helps us feel more connected to others. Compassion also helps us let go of anger, resentment, and frustration, which can block our happiness. Have you ever noticed how holding on to a grudge makes you feel heavy or anxious? On the other hand, when you forgive someone or show kindness, even to a stranger, you often feel lighter and more at peace. This is because compassion allows us to release negative emotions and create a space for positive, joyful feelings. To practice compassion, start small. The next time someone annoys you or makes a mistake, try to understand their perspective. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, pause and show kindness. You'll notice how this shift in perspective makes you feel calmer and happier inside. The importance of gratitude. Gratitude is another important teaching in Buddhism that leads to happiness. In our daily lives, it's easy to focus on what we don't have or what's going wrong. But when we practice gratitude, we shift our focus to what's going right and what we already have. This simple shift in mindset can make a huge difference in how happy we feel. Every day, take a moment to reflect on the good things in your life, no matter how small. It could be something as simple as a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a friend, or a meal that you enjoyed. By focusing on the positive, you begin to cultivate a sense of appreciation, and this naturally leads to a greater sense of happiness. Buddhist teachings often suggest practicing gratitude by acknowledging the interconnection of all beings. For example, when you eat a piece of fruit, think about how many people were involved in getting that fruit to your table, from the farmer who grew it, to the workers who harvested it, to the person who sold it. When we realize how much effort goes into the things we enjoy, it becomes easier to feel grateful for them. The middle way, balance in life. The concept of the middle way is central to Buddhist teachings and is key to finding happiness. The middle way is about balance, avoiding extremes in life. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal goals, balance is essential to maintaining happiness. For example, working too much might bring financial success, but it can lead to stress and burnout, which ultimately reduces your happiness. On the other hand, avoiding work altogether may lead to boredom and a lack of purpose. The middle way suggests finding a balance between these extremes, working hard but also making time for rest and relaxation. Applying the middle way to your daily life means paying attention to your physical, mental, and emotional needs. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your overall well-being, rather than focusing too much on any one area. This balance leads to a more peaceful, stable, and happy life. Embracing impermanence. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing, and nothing stays the same forever. This might sound a little scary at first, but it's actually a beautiful and freeing idea. When we understand that life is always changing, we stop holding on so tightly to things that are bound to change. For example, we all experience loss in some form, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or even a phase of life. If we cling too tightly to these things, we will suffer when they inevitably change. But if we can accept the impermanence of life, we can enjoy the present moment without fear of losing it. This acceptance of change helps us to appreciate life more deeply and find happiness in each moment. To embrace impermanence, start by acknowledging the small changes in your life, the changing of the seasons, the passing of time, or the growth of a child. By recognizing these changes as natural, you begin to cultivate a mindset that accepts and appreciates life's ebb and flow. Final thoughts. Happiness, as taught in Buddhism, is not about chasing after things or avoiding suffering. It's about learning to live with balance, compassion, and mindfulness. By letting go of attachment, practicing gratitude, and embracing the natural changes in life, we can find a deep and lasting sense of peace and joy. These lessons from Buddhism are simple but powerful. When we apply them in our daily lives, we can start to see a shift in how we experience happiness, not as something fleeting, but as a state of being that we can nurture and grow from within. Conclusion: living a life of purpose and joy. As we come to this part of our journey, let's reflect on everything we've explored so far. Life is a gift, and happiness, true happiness, is something we all seek. But how do we find it? How do we hold on to it? The teachings of Buddhism offer us a simple yet powerful path, one that is rooted in understanding, mindfulness, and compassion. Living a life of purpose and joy isn't about chasing after grand goals or material success. It's about finding meaning in the present moment and being at peace with who you are. The Buddha taught that happiness is not something we seek outside of ourselves. It is something we cultivate from within. And once we understand this, our whole approach to life begins to change. Think about your day-to-day life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, what are the thoughts that run through your mind? Are they peaceful, or are they filled with worries, stress, and desires? This is where it all begins. Our mind shapes our experience of the world. If our mind is constantly looking for something outside of ourselves to make us happy, we will never feel satisfied. Buddhism teaches us that joy comes from within, from accepting life as it is and finding contentment in the present moment. This doesn't mean we should stop setting goals or dreaming big. It simply means we shouldn't let our happiness depend on those things. If we can find joy in the little things, like a quiet morning, a conversation with a friend, or even the simple act of breathing, then we are already living a life filled with purpose and joy. A purposeful life, according to Buddhist teachings, starts with understanding. Understanding what? First, understanding that life is impermanent. Everything around us is constantly changing. The people we love, the things we own, even our thoughts and feelings, they all come and go. When we grasp this truth, we stop clinging to things that are temporary, and we start appreciating them for what they are, in the moment they exist. Let's take a moment to think about how often we spend time worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. We miss the beauty of what's right in front of us. It's like being so focused on taking a picture of a sunset that you forget to actually watch the sun setting. When we live in the present moment, fully aware and fully engaged, we are living with purpose. Another key aspect of living a purposeful life is compassion. The Buddha taught that true happiness comes not from satisfying our own desires, but from helping others. When we show kindness and compassion to those around us, we create a ripple effect of positivity. This doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Even small acts of kindness can make a huge difference. A smile, a kind word, or simply listening to someone can brighten their day, and in turn, it brightens ours. Think of compassion as a seed. Every time we act with kindness, we are planting that seed, and with time, it grows into something much bigger. This is the kind of joy that lasts, because it's not about getting something for ourselves, it's about giving to others. And in giving, we receive more than we could ever imagine. Mindfulness is another pillar of living a life of purpose and joy. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, of paying attention to what is happening right now without judgment. When we are mindful, we experience life more fully. We savor our food instead of rushing through meals. We listen to others instead of thinking about what we're going to say next. We feel the breeze on our skin, the warmth of the sun, and the rhythm of our breath. In these moments of mindfulness, we realize that happiness is not something far away. It's right here, in the little things that we often overlook. The present moment is where life happens, and when we live in it, we feel more connected, more alive, and more at peace. Purpose also comes from knowing ourselves deeply. In Buddhism, this is called self-awareness. We spend so much time getting to know the world around us, our work, our hobbies, our friends, but how much time do we spend getting to know ourselves? Self-awareness is about understanding our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's about recognizing our habits, both good and bad, and learning from them. When we become self-aware, we stop living on autopilot. We start making choices that align with our true values and desires, instead of just following the crowd or doing what we think we should do. This is where purpose comes in. A purposeful life is one that is lived intentionally, with awareness of who we are and what truly matters to us. Buddhism also teaches that living a life of purpose and joy requires letting go of attachments. Attachments are the things we cling to, the things we believe will make us happy. It could be a job, a relationship, or even a particular outcome. But the truth is, nothing is permanent. And when we attach our happiness to something that can change, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Letting go of attachments doesn't mean giving up on life or relationships. It simply means recognizing that everything is temporary and learning to appreciate things as they are, without holding on too tightly. When we let go of our need to control everything, we open ourselves up to a sense of freedom and peace. We start to trust in the flow of life, knowing that whatever happens, we will be okay. Joy also comes from gratitude. In Buddhism, gratitude is more than just saying thank you for the good things in life. It's about appreciating everything, both the joys and the challenges. When we are grateful, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. And when we focus on what we have, we realize that we already have enough. A life of gratitude is a life of abundance. It doesn't mean we ignore our struggles or pretend everything is perfect. It means we choose to see the blessings in every situation. When we practice gratitude, we feel more content, more at peace, and more connected to the world around us. Finally, living a life of purpose and joy means accepting yourself as you are. Buddhism teaches that we are all inherently good, and that our true nature is one of compassion, kindness, and wisdom. But often, we get caught up in feelings of not being enough. We compare ourselves to others, we judge ourselves harshly, and we feel like we're falling short. But the truth is, you are already enough. You are worthy of happiness, just as you are. The key is to stop trying to be someone you're not, and start embracing who you are. When you accept yourself fully, without judgment, You free yourself from the burden of trying to live up to impossible standards. You can simply be, and in that being, you find peace. So, as we conclude this part of the journey, remember, happiness is not something to be found in the future. It's not something to be earned or achieved. It's something that's already within you, waiting to be discovered.